You know it is a good day when you find Amazon gift cards unused, unopened, $150 Canadian bucks, which suck right now. Anyways, I digress. I know a lot of us struggle with reconciling the demands of an intense training routine or fitness or even work with the biblical prescription for rest. But if you implement rest, physical, mental, and spiritual rest into your life on a routine basis, I can guarantee it will transform the way you perform in your sport and cycling, the way you show up on the bike, the way you work, the way you are with your family, and even your spiritual life and your mental life, your peace, your joy, your anxiety. I know this sounds extreme, like how could anything do that? But hear me out. This is not a popular topic because we live in a very hustle culture-ish world, but essentially, I think and I believe that if you are not taking a day of rest, then you are doing yourself a disservice physically, but also mentally and spiritually as well. In the Bible, literally very early in the Bible, when God gave the 10 Commandments, he gave a day of rest. You are to follow the Sabbath. Yet, it is the only commandment that we don't follow today. All the other 9, I mean, if you're a Christian and if you abide by the 10 Commandments and you're trying to do good in your life, all the other 9 we follow. You know, you're not having adultery, I hope. You're not stealing. You're not murdering. You're not putting any other God before him. And yet, we ignore the Sabbath. If we look at what Jesus said, he said, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath." Back then, Sabbath was abused in the sense that it was so many ceremonial laws and traditions and don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, that it was just like a headache to follow. And it was like everyone was just following the rules and no one knew why, and it was exhausting. It actually ended up being more work than resting. Now, it's different because we don't follow the Sabbath. In fact, hardly any of us take a day of rest for our physical bodies, our mind, our spirit. And I would argue that if you're a cyclist watching this, a lot of us struggle to reconcile the demands of fitness and life and hustle with rest. But it is a commandment. So, if we open up my book, Train with Purpose, food, diet, balance, body my choice, stewardship. I have a table of contents for a reason. 92. So if you live in Canada or the States, actually, we used to have Sabbath back in the day. Before I was born, actually, it was in 1982 specifically, on May 30th, that the Sabbath was abolished. And do you want to know why? Because a drugstore challenged the law after being charged for unlawfully opening and operating on a Sunday. And back then it was called the Lord's Day Act, which is pretty fitting, I think. And after, they took it to court, and finally they found that, you know what? It was wrong to restrict business activity on a Sunday. And so that business won the court case. No, the Lord's Day Act was no longer being enforced. And now businesses have the competitive edge on Sundays to be able to work and to make more money. And we have obliterated the day of rest. And now there's this kind of dissonance because everyone's seeking rest. We're looking for rest. We're thinking about early retirement. We're asking ourselves what day we should take off the bike or what day we should rest when it comes to our fitness. And we're trying to take vacation days off and like go to Hawaii and do all this stuff. But at the end of the day, the core truth here is no amount of vacation is going to replace the hardwired need for rest that we all have. This is something I take pretty seriously, and I often recommend my athletes and clients do the same. One of the first things I tell them is, listen, I don't work on Sundays, and so if you text me, I won't see it. If you upload a file on Training Peaks, a workout on Training Peaks, I won't see it, and I'll reply on Monday. I'll reply when I'm up in the morning on Monday, but I usually recommend you do too. And I don't work out on Sundays. Sunday is a day that we sleep in, we go to church, we take it slow, we visit family, we relax, we play games, it's just like a day for the physical rest, meaning I'm not working out, mental rest, I'm not thinking about anything, I'm not working, I'm not toiling, and spiritual rest, because I remember that this rest was given to me by Christ, and I do not need to work my way to salvation. And so I guess the reason this is coming up right now is because I think, if athletes have, let's say, a race or something coming up, and let's be honest, most races are on Sundays. Most group rides are on Sundays. It's hard to say no and to put that as a boundary in your life when you don't take rest seriously to begin with. So I would challenge you. I know you probably don't like to be challenged, but I would challenge you to consider taking that rest day. Just try for 1 week. And if it sucks, carry on with normal life. But I think you owe it to yourself to at least try resting at least 1 day in the week and see what difference it makes. If you find at the end of the day there's no positive benefit for you resting, as if it's not hardwired in you, and you're better off racing or going on a group ride or doing something fun and going to the mall and shopping and cleaning your house and getting work done. If you find that that's more beneficial for you, by all means do that, and I won't argue. But in 100% of cases of clients that I've worked with that I've said, let's try to take that day as a day of rest, they have enjoyed it. And they always come back a few weeks later or a few months later and say, I can't believe I'm doing this now as a regular part of my life, but I can tell you that this is the best day of the week. Anyways, so try it out. If you don't like it, if it sucks, just go back to your old routine and you can come back and dislike this video. But I think that it will make a huge difference in your life and you will feel so blessed, because at the end of the day, even Jesus had to rest. Even God had to rest after creating the universe. And he didn't do it because he was tired. He did it to set the example for us. So are you going to follow the man-made illusion that you are designed to work 7 days a week, 24/7, or are you going to follow the way God designed you?